success is what you think success is. Like, it doesn't have to be about the money. It does not have to be because you have all these followers or whatever it may be. Like, if you're hitting your goals that you have set for yourself, then I feel like you're successful in that way. And that's the thing that really kills me is like in our society and our generation, people are like, no, if you're not making this amount of money, you're not successful. And that's just far from the truth.
Hello and welcome to the Mommy Mogul podcast. If you're looking for a place to get real about balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship, it being part of a community of successful, purposeful, and faith-filled mommy moguls sounds like the right place for you, then come on in, sis, have a seat and get comfortable because you have found your place and you have found your people. So today we have a very special guest, Miss Rebekah Martinez. So everybody, welcome Miss Rebekah. Rebekah, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so my name is Rebekah, but I go by Becca since we're friends now.
Yes.
I am in affiliate marketing, but I'm also a nurse. So my full-time job right now is a nurse. I've been a nurse for about 3 years, but I've been in the medical field for 11 years and kind of worked my way up as a CNA, then became an LPN, and then now my RN. My big thing is I love helping people. And I got into affiliate marketing just because I was getting super burned out with work. And I was just like, I need something else to like help me bring in extra income instead of going to work, because sometimes it's very mentally draining. So I came across affiliate marketing and have kind of been going down that road. But when I first started, I realized very quickly that it might not be for me, just because I feel like some of it is very deceiving, and I didn't really like that. And then after I was with this one specific program, I was like, I just don't think this is for me, because it just didn't feel right in my spirit.
Yeah, so, I totally get that. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're good. So that's when I almost threw in the towel with the whole thing, just because that just didn't align with all of my beliefs and everything. And then I came across another girl that I felt like she was talking directly towards me. So I reached out to her and the affiliate program that she was promoting, and they are all about teaching being honest and having that integrity and not like being deceitful. Couldn't think of the word. And just basically like being yourself and showing people like you'd rather build a relationship with them, and then instead of looking at them like a paycheck, like so many affiliate marketers do.
Right. So what were some of like those bad business practices that really like turned you off? Like, nope, not doing this. What were some of those things so that people know what to look for?
So the things are always like the click my link, like they don't want to have anything to do with you. They're just like, oh, if you want information, just go click the link or whatever. I didn't really agree with that one. And just the ones like if you're asking them questions and they either come at you with, you can buy my mentorship program or anything like that, that's when you should run away.
Gotcha. Hey, before we get too far into the episode, I want to tell you about the Breakaway Calculator. This thing is absolutely amazing. Not only will it tell you how to reverse engineer your numbers so that you can make sure that the math is mathing and that you are meeting your income goals for the year, but it also tells you what you need to have in your offer suite, because you can't sell what you don't have, right? It also gives you a price point for each of those, like an ideal price point. But if you want to change it up, girl, do your thing. It's all you, okay? So not only does it break it down yearly for you, but it also breaks it down monthly and quarterly so that you can make sure that the math is mathing all the way through the year and help you to stay on track. If you want to get a copy of that, go to calculator.breakawayblueprint.com. All right, back to the episode. So what exactly is affiliate marketing?
So affiliate marketing in a nutshell is basically you promote products or programs, anybody's products or programs, or you can obviously make your own products and program and promote that. So the other thing I didn't really like about the whole affiliate marketing the other way was they teach like how to do a sales funnel. And basically you're just like going in, reading stuff, clicking a link, and then buying the product if you choose to. And that's the other thing I didn't like, because I feel like you're not getting to talk with that person, because I personally would rather someone come to me and ask the questions before they purchase, than instead of going in it blindly and purchasing it. But basically you get a special link. And I always tell people, because I felt like I was taught the wrong way and then I was taught a more proper way. Some
Yeah.
people will post those in like their sales funnel or whatever, but me personally, it's kind of like if we're talking and you're like, hey, I really like your shirt, where'd you get it from? I could tell you like, oh, I got it off of Amazon, but I can give you the link. But you always want to be honest with people. I will make a commission if you decide to purchase that
Yeah.
shirt off of there, type thing.
Yeah. So for you right now, you're building a community, right? So it's more than just sending people a link here, buy this thing or buy that thing. It's you're building a community of people. So is your community more focused on those who are looking to buy, or those who are looking to like get into affiliate marketing the way that you do it?
Honestly, for either or, but I'm mainly focused on busy parents just because I am a busy parent myself. But I always tell people that, because I've had people reach out and they're like, "Oh, I really wanted to join your group, but I seen it was for a parent, and I'm not a parent." And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no! If you need help, like I am here to help you," type thing.
Yeah. That's always the scary part about niching down, is you're afraid that you'll alienate people, because like I struggled with that in the beginning when starting my business. I was like, oh, well, I mean, I teach business practices, but it's
Hmm.
not necessarily just for women or just for mothers. But you have to niche down because you need to get clear on your messaging. So it's always
Yes.
a concern that you'll like alienate people. But I always say, like, I may not be talking directly to you, but if you hear the message and it resonates, come on in. We're not trying to alienate anybody. So I think that that's good that you recognize that, like, well, oh my gosh, people are but that's, that's kind of the thing about when you niche down. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a
Yes,
thing.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But I think it's also great that you are building a community to get people more awareness and understanding of how to do things with integrity. Because I know, like, when the pandemic hit, everybody and their mother had a course to sell or had some type of coaching program or something that was going on. And, but not all of it was really valuable. It was just kind of copy and paste, throw information together. It
Hmm.
wasn't, something that could really take a person from A to B. Um, Although a lot of people are looking to go from A to Z, but I mean, it's more important to go to A to B and then B to C and then C to.
Yeah, slowly go there.
Exactly. It's a process, but there was so many like, oh, I can, turn you into a six-figure earner. I know that was like the big thing, right? Like you can make six
Yeah,
figures in 6 months and stuff like that. And it just wasn't the reality of situations for people. So now it is harder that when you are doing something honestly and with integrity, for people to really listen. Um, you have to find creative ways of how to speak out about things, because they can hear it, but it all sounds the same. And I think people have become a little,
hmm,
what is the word, like desensitized to the
yeah,
messaging. Yeah. So I think it's good that you have an honest platform, and that you're encouraging people to do things the right way, even if it's not happening as quickly as maybe others. But but it's honest. I rather do that. I rather live honestly than any other
me
way.
too.
So
Me too.
yeah. Yeah. So you created a post the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get her on the show because it was so, so good. It was talking about success and how that is important on an individual basis. So tell me a little bit about what inspired that post.
I think it just got around to, I was thinking I had made myself some small goals for the month of May, and I was slowly hitting those, and I'm like, oh, I feel so good right now. And then it makes you feel successful. And then when I really thought about it, I was just like, success is what you think success is. Like, it doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be about the money. It does not have to be because you have all these followers or whatever it may be. Like, if you're hitting your goals that you have set for yourself, then I feel like you're successful in that way. And that's the thing that really kills me is like in our society and our generation, people are like, no, if you're not making this amount of money, you're not successful. And that's just far from the truth.
Yeah. I agree. It is far from the truth because it really needs to be individualized. It's no different than motherhood. There's no one big definition of motherhood and what you should be and all of that. It should be what's right for you and your family. And so success is not any different. It should be you as an individual saying, well, this is what I feel would make me successful. This is what, God is calling me to my particular purpose. And so it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else or anyone else's standard or any outside influence. It has to be completely just, you, right, as the individual. And so
Yes.
I do see a lot of people like, oh, well, if I'm not making six figures a month in my business, then I'm not successful. I don't think so. Are all your bills paid? You know
Right.
what I mean? Are all of your bills paid? Or are
Right.
you happy? Or your kids happy? I worked with a coach once who said, well, give me an example of like a house you would want. And one of the people in the group was like, oh, I want like a $5 million house. And she says, yeah, but a $5 million house can look like crap. And I was like, how could a $5 million house look like crap? And then she broke it down. She's like, it could be abandoned. It could be, maybe the value of the 5 million is because it's on a great piece of land, but maybe the house itself is not, the structural integrity is not where it needs to be. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. It used to be an
That
old
is.
house, right? But it could still cost
Right.
$5 million. So you have to be so specific about what your goal is for you. So let's say I wanted a house with like a gourmet kitchen and stainless steel appliances and a white farmhouse apron sink. Like you'd have to be specific and that could maybe cost 5 million, maybe it can cost 3 million, but you have
Hmm.
to be specific because we set these arbitrary goals and then it's like, but is that really what you want? So for like a realtor, if they wanted to be the best realtor in their area. Well, why? What's the point? What is the point of that? Oh,
Right.
because you want someone to call you the best. But what if you just want to have enough money, you want to have enough sales or enough recognition to be able to meet and exceed your income goals for the year? You don't have to be the best to do that. So I just want people to really understand, like, define these things for yourself, not,
Hmm.
based on what anybody else has. Because we say these things and it's like, well, why do I really want that? You know?
Yeah.
Why do I really want that?
And that's
Yeah.
the other thing that is so sad is the fact that whenever we do pick out these goals for ourselves and we're like, yes, I'm like hitting those and I feel successful. And then you get those negative people that come around and they're like, oh, you're not successful because you didn't do A, B, or C. And I'm just like, okay, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But my
Hmm.
success is what I say my success is.
Yes. Like Tabitha Brown said, that's your business, right? So I always like to say,
Yes,
that's your
yes.
business. Because maybe that's your idea of success, but it's not necessarily my idea of success. I was actually struggling with this a couple weeks ago because I was like, man, I just cannot get my Instagram to grow. Like I have, almost 1,000 people on YouTube and, they like my content, but for some reason, and of course people want to like blame the algorithm. I don't know that I blame the algorithm. I don't know what it is, but I'm not like a social media guru.
Me
And
neither.
yeah, I'm like, well, I guess it'll get there when it gets there. And then I started taking screenshots every Sunday. I would take a screenshot of where my follower count was. And then I realized that I was actually growing by like 13 to 15 new people every week. And I was like, oh, well, that's
Oh,
that's actually not bad, that's
yeah.
actually that's actually pretty decent. So then I started redefining what my goals were for my Instagram. I said I want to grow consistently by at least 10 every week
Mhm.
because I'm looking at other people and they have like 200,000 followers and I'm like, "Oh my gosh. There's 200,000 people that like really like what you have to say." But then when you look at their likes, they have maybe 200, sometimes less. And it's like, oh, so, but all of your people are not engaged.
Right.
So then that got me to thinking, well, what does my engagement look like? If I put up a post, I only have like 150 followers, but I have like 15 to 17 people liking a post. Well, that's a pretty decent percentage of
Yeah.
my followers that are actually engaging. So again, redefine.
Yes.
Right.
And it's also, I always look at it too, like you can't really compare yourself because, like you said, they might have that many followers, but sometimes it's sad that people buy their followers and whatnot, which
Mm,
if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I wouldn't,
yeah.
because I'm like you. I want people that are genuinely interested in what I'm doing, and like, because those are the people that you want to reach out to, people that are going to click
Yeah.
with you and be interested in what you're doing.
Right. Because then it's like, well, who am I talking to? Right. If they're not engaged or if they're not here because they actually like my content, then I mean, how can I guarantee that they'll even stay? Right. Like, how do you talk to them?
Yeah.
What do you say? So yeah, no, I wouldn't even know where to buy. I've heard this before. Like people buy followers. I was like, I don't even know. Like
I know.
where
I
would I
don't
even
understand that either.
where would I even find these people? So
I
I
know.
have no idea. And no one's ever asked me like, "Hey, do you want to buy followers?" I don't know. But I'm just chilling in my little corner of the internet, and I'm like,
Me
it'll grow
too.
eventually. It will
Yes.
grow eventually. So,
And
but I
I
love like doing the podcast. So, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. No, you're fine. I was just going to say, I like the saying that slow and steady wins the race because I always feel like if you slowly make your way there, I feel like what's the word I'm looking for? It's more sustainable or whatever versus if you like
Mm-hmm.
get from A to B or A to Z, I should say A to Z
Yeah.
so fast and you get all this stuff. And then I feel like it's a crash and burn waiting to happen.
Yeah, because if you grow too fast, so the process of like growing a business or growing at all, even as a person, it takes time because there's so many different lessons and little nuances that you have to go through in the process. So who I was a year ago when I started my business is not who I am now. If I had done all of that in like a month, I mean, yeah, of course we want to collapse time so you can get to the
Mm-hmm.
money and be comfortable, but can you sustain it? Are you the kind of person that you have to be in order to sustain that level of success, which is why we have to go through that process. And I think a lot of people they don't want to do that. They don't want to go through the actual journey of becoming a better person to sustain all of that. Because let's say you got $100,000 today, but you have no idea how to invest that money. You have no idea how to make that money make money. You would just spend it all, right? Most people would just spend it all because they have no idea what to do with that kind of money. Well, if they had taken the time to learn financial literacy and learn that money is really not, it's not important to have money so that you can pay bills or, spend it on lavish trips. The importance of money is so that you can make more money. That's, it's got
Mm-hmm.
to keep duplicating. But if you don't know that, if you haven't gotten to that place, if you haven't invested in yourself or your education, then how would you know to do that? So you can't go
Right.
from A to Z and be like, oh, if I was at this place and I'd have it all together. You wouldn't. Most people
Right.
wouldn't. They wouldn't.
It
They just got to take
all
their time.
it all goes back to like you have to be a good like steward of your money and kind of learn that process before you get wild with it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, there's a story about that in the Bible, right?
Uh-huh.
When the guy there's three of them, and he says, "I'm charging each of you with responsible for this money." And one says, "Okay, I'm going to bury it. I'm going to sit right here on it. It's going to be right here when you get back." There's going to be those people who are going to be
Yes.
too afraid to spend it, so they won't invest it. So it'll just be exactly what it was, you know, a year later, or they'll put it in the bank and they'll actually lose money on it. Not people really don't
Yeah.
realize that you can lose money on it. Um, or there could be the person who says, "Okay, well, I'll go and I'll double it." So maybe I'll go play the slots and I'll take my chances, or maybe I'll do something like
Yeah.
that. And they'll go and they'll try to invest it, and then there'll be the person who does it 10 times over, because they'll figure out exactly what to do with the money. So, yeah, very similar to that. It's exactly like that. Not similar, well, that's why the Bible is a guideline, right?
Yeah,
It's a
it's
guideline.
crazy. It's so crazy that you say it in that like that perspective just because that's how I feel like the Bible is. It's you can read the same story over and over and then one day it's like boom, it hits you with this knowledge that you just wouldn't even expect it to
Mm-hmm.
say and you're like I've read this story before and then suddenly it's you get that what it's supposed to
Yep.
be for you.
Yep. Like I actually in my last episode I was talking to my good girlfriends about one of my favorite stories in the Bible, which is in Kings 2, and it's when Elisha helps the widow with the oil. And every time I read this story, and I don't know, and it's always something like I don't read it every single day, right? But
Mm-hmm.
something will come to me, and well, I guess that's Holy Spirit talking to me and saying, you need to read this story. So I'll say, okay, all right, I'm gonna read it. And I will read it, and every time it gives me something different. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's because I've changed, so now I see something different in it. But yeah, the Bible is definitely a guideline. It doesn't matter if people believe or not, there's always a story that is completely
Yes.
applicable to what you're going through, which means that history
Yes.
absolutely repeats itself. Nothing is new under the sun. That's what my mom always used to say. There's nothing new
Oh.
under the sun.
Uh-huh.
So it's true, though. It's true. The Bible has so much revelation in it, even if you don't
It
believe.
really does. Yes.
Still good stories. Hmm. I like it. I love
Me too.
it. Okay, so let me think of a juicy question to ask, because we've talked about the affiliate marketing and all of that. And well, so what's your big goal for that? What's your big goal for the affiliate marketing? I didn't
Oh,
ask you
that's a
that.
very good question. My big goal is probably honestly just to build a community of like-minded people and like help people out instead of I don't know. I'm such a I'm a caring person and I just like have brought that part of me into it. So it just like kills me when I see people just being led astray basically. So that is my like huge goal is to like bring people in and show them that you do not have to follow all these like ways that aren't dishonest and all of that. So that's kind of
Mhm.
like my big goal for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, where can people find and join your group?
So as of right now, my group is on Facebook and it is called. I'm probably gonna butcher it because it's like a tongue twister. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
No problem.
As soon as I made it, I was like, "That is a tongue twister," and I was like, "I'm gonna get so tongue tied." But it's the Busy Parents Business Builders with Beck.
Okay. Busy Parents Business Builders with Beck.
Yes,
Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper.
I will not do that because I will really mess that
That's it. I stop right there. That's it. That's all I got. So, do you have like a signature offer or something, or is the community is a signature offer?
Oh,
That's the
that
best way
is
for people to work with you.
yeah, yeah, that and if they do decide like, hey, they want to do affiliate marketing and the like I said, the program that I promote, if they want to get into that, then I always tell people that I am their mentor, their coach until they want to be completely done with me type thing. Which I always tell people, I
Okay.
hope you're never done with me because I like the friendships that I've built along the way.
Yeah. That's cool. I like it. So, and can they get that information on your Facebook?
So actually, they would have to message me to get that information just because I
Okay.
like to, again, talk with people. And not
Hmm.
only that, but I just want to make sure that it's the right fit for you because I did, when I jumped into it, I got into a wrong program and I spent a lot of money. And that's my other goal is to help people. Or yeah, here we go with the tongue ties. Help prevent people from making the same mistake I did.
Yeah. Well, I know all about making those mistakes. I've invested since I left my job last year almost $50,000 in
Oh man.
trying to get like coaching and, more, because I don't believe that you can have people pay for a high ticket coaching program if you've never been in one, right?
Exactly.
Because it's kind of hard to convince people to pay a large number if you've not invested at that level. So I had no problem making investments in myself, but some of those things were not always what I expected. Maybe I think people need to work on managing their expectations too, and then people need to be very clear about what they're saying, because a lot of these programs package things in a way that it sounds like, oh my God, they're going to give me all the information that I need to be successful. But then they really only give you like part of the information in order to, and then after that it's like, okay, well, bye. And you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
get all the things I thought but my my takeaway from some of those programs is, even though I didn't get what I was expecting to get, I realized that there needs to be programs that are more comprehensive. So it needs
Yes.
to be more than just the what, it actually needs to be the how. And not just like how to put programs together, but how to also market those programs, how to sell those programs, how to tell your story so that people are intrigued and really want to be a part of your community. So even though I didn't learn what I thought I was, I did walk away with something. So I always try to think about that when I'm talking to other people, is not to talk down about any particular program, but just
Right.
really highlight, what you can walk away with, because I think more people should think about that too. Like, well, you may not have learned this, but what did you learn? Or what can you
Yes.
incorporate into your program? So I think that's important. That's a little gem too. So you're a mommy, right? You
I
have a little
am.
girl. She's napping.
I
Well, she's supposed
do.
to be napping.
I think she finally is napping. I
Yes.
think she finally tired herself out there.
And you're also a busy mom, because you work full time, and then you have your affiliate marketing business that you are growing. So what are some of the things that you have found can make your life a little bit easier to like juggle all of these things that you got going on?
Routine. I'm a very routine person. Sometimes I want to just say I'm a little OCD about things. So sometimes that's not always good, because I strive on routine, and sometimes if one little thing throws me out of routine, then I kind of get like really upset. I've
Mm-hmm.
actually come a long ways with that. So if I have something planned out for the day and something does come up, I don't get as upset as I would back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's been a long growing process, and I feel like I've also come a long way. Not only just within life in general, I should say.
Yeah. I am definitely a creature of habit. I do the same things all the time, the same way all the time. But do I wish I could put myself on a routine? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I had like a specific schedule. And don't think I don't write them out. Like, I do write out a schedule, like, okay, for 15 minutes I'm going to do this, and then for 15 minutes I'm going to do that. And then I get on the people's internet on Instagram, and there's 40 minutes of my life. So sometimes
Yes. I
sometimes
feel
I'm like,
that.
no, don't go on Instagram. Don't do it. Because it's
Stay
amazing.
over
Like, you
there.
just swipe and you're like laughing. You're like, oh shoot, where'd the time go?
Yes, that is a for sure fact.
Oh my gosh, time can get away from you. I don't know how people can do like all the social media platforms, and now there's a new one called like Lemonade. I'm like, not even, not even going over there, not
I have
doing
not
it,
heard of that
because
one.
yes, it's called Lemonade, and like all the big influencers are talking about why you should get on Lemonade, because nobody's really on it right now. It's not saturated, and da 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 da. And I'm just like, no, I can't even, like, I have my Instagram. I do have a Facebook. I am never on my Facebook. Like,
Oh,
never. Just
really?
because just because I don't know how to like do anything on Facebook. This is gonna make me sound really old.
Oh, no.
I don't I don't know how to do anything on Facebook. I don't know how to find groups. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And I'm just like, well, that's okay, because I don't need another thing to like,
Mm-hmm.
occupy me. So, and I'm supposed to like be on LinkedIn too, because LinkedIn is the place to be. And I'm
Uh-huh.
just like, I can't keep up with all these things. If I didn't have a business, I would not be on social media. Like, I would just
Yeah,
have an Instagram just to scroll. That's it.
that is me. I actually did not have social media for, I want to say, I'm trying to think of how long me and my husband been together. I didn't have any social media for like 6 years. And then I recently, well, I say that, but I did have TikTok, and that, of course, is what led me to start
Oh,
this
because it's
business and
TikTok.
everything.
Yeah.
And so that's what got me back on social media, because I got off of social media about 6 years ago, just for the simple fact that I did a lot of the comparison thing, because I wasn't quite through nursing school yet, and I know I had a lot of friends that were getting married, getting houses,
Mm-hmm.
doing good with their careers, and it was just very like um, discouraging to see. So I took myself completely off of social media, and I also feel like that was a God thing, just so that I could grow in the time that I've grown. And now that I'm back on it, I just really get on to do my business stuff and get off, so that way I don't get sucked back into that whole trap again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is very easy to, what is it? Comparison is a thief of joy or something like that. I think it says.
Yes.
And it's true. It's true because you become so like, am I not doing this enough? Am I not doing that enough? And I actually had a friend who told me, she was like, girl, that stuff is fake. And I was like, but look at how they're smiling as they're sitting there with their baby. That's before I had kids. And like I'd see all my friends from like high school, and, you know, they were
Mm-hmm.
married and had kids. And I was like, I'm not married. I don't have kids. And it just made me
Yeah.
feel so, it made me feel inadequate. And I
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
who wants, so I have a very similar story to you. I did not want to deal with social media. I was like, no, especially if it's fake. Well, why am I going over there and looking at, you know, fake stuff? But now I
Mm-hmm.
look at things with a very analytical eye. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, I wonder what they did to get the video to look like that. I don't look at it now just for like what's actually happening, but more the technical side of what they had to do to get it. Cause now I got to
Yes.
make my own reels, you know? So I'm like, I wonder how they
Yeah.
had the camera situated, you know, like where did they put the
Yes.
camera? How much time did it take to set up this shot, you know? All for like a 30-second reel. And I'm like, man, people go through a lot of stuff to do a
Yeah.
30-second reel.
Yes, they do.
That's intense. I saw one with like a guy and his dog, and it was like a whole little movie in 30 seconds, you know? I was fully engaged too. It was whew,
Uh-huh.
it was great quality. And he's the dog's looking at him and he's looking at the dog, and then he like drops a blueberry or something on the floor, I think it is. And so he's trying to pick it up before the dog can get it. And and he had so many different camera shots. And I thought this must have taken at least 2 hours. Well, it would have taken me 5 hours to do, but you know, it must have
Yeah.
taken him at least an hour and a half to do all of this, plus the editing time. I'm like, I don't know if I have that kind of dedication.
Same.
I don't know if I have that kind of dedication. Like, I barely want to put on the makeup to like get on here and do a reel. It's like, I don't know.
Hmm. That's
So
like
it's
the ones that do like the makeup ones, where they do like all the crazy transformations, and I already know that they take forever to put the makeup on, because they say that it's taken them
yes.
hours to do their final look and everything, and then I'm like, and then you're also recording, and I'm like, that's a lot of, like you said,
Yeah.
dedication.
Oh my gosh. But those are really cool though, aren't they? Because
Yes, they
like
are.
when they do like the full like I think I saw one because the Little Mermaid's coming out, or maybe it came out already. I don't, or it's coming out. I don't know. But I saw they did Ursula, and they do this the talking while they're doing. I'm like, man, how many times did they have to record this song
Uh-huh.
in order to like get the lip to match up and all of that? I'm like, oh man, this is. But you know what? Hats off to them, because those are
Yeah.
content creators. I am a business owner who creates content. I am not a content creator. I think that they are in a
Yes.
league of their own. They are highly talented, and I recognize their dedication, and I admire them for that. Me, I'm just, mm-mm. I can't.
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
feel
even
that.
know where to begin. I like have to take a class or something on that because man, like I can imagine that right now for people who were doing films, that social media is probably like the best place for them to thrive right now because they don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay any because social media is free, right? For right now, I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to get people to have
Oh,
to
I'm
pay,
sure.
but at some point. So, but right now, like if you think about it, so for business owners, it's completely free marketing, which is amazing because nobody has to pay for ad spend. Um, it is completely free for them to grow their business. And for films, people who, do film work, they can create all this stuff. And then like now you can create a tutorial on how to do that. And now you can create your own business. So then people can come
Mm-hmm.
and you can teach them how to do that. It's endless. The possibilities for social media are endless, which is exactly why they're probably gonna at some point charge.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do all that I can while it's free. But
Same. Me too.
so you post like several times a day on your social media, right?
I do. So on the days that I work, I try to post at least once, twice the max. But on my days off, I try to at least post 3 times a day.
Okay. And are you doing like all of your content in real time or do you like batch record and just post as you go?
A little bit of both, because sometimes I'm very long-winded. So if I know I have something to say, but I can break it up into a couple different videos, then I will do that. But for the majority of the time, I just do it on like a day-to-day basis. So on some days when I can't even think of anything, I'm like, I'm not going to post today.
I don't know. I'm not yet at the place where I can batch record and then just post as I go. I'm still like on a day-to-day basis. I'm like, okay, what am I posting today? But recently I saw this guy, his name is Monty Woodard, and he has an Instagram. He's got like 200 and something thousand people following him, but he did a live where he talked about understanding your story and how to develop content based on that. And I was like, hmm. So when I take my plane ride this week, I am going to be on the plane and I'm going to map out like all the things. It made me think of like when we were in elementary school and middle school and we had to write an essay and we had to do the brainstorm map. And I was like, why don't I
Yes.
do a brainstorming map?
That's
Right. Because then
smart.
yeah. So then I'll put like, well, this is what I want people to know in the middle, and then all the different ways that I can deliver that message. And then hopefully that will help with the batch recording because I feel like content can take up so much of your space, of your time
Hmm.
on a daily basis. I would rather like have a dedicated day where I can at least record for the week because it doesn't have to be long. See, that was something else that I had to learn. I was always thinking like it's got to be this in-depth drawn out thing, but people don't really have the attention span for that anymore. They don't want to watch
Hmm.
longer, videos like this podcast they'll listen to probably on their way to work or on their way home or something like that because it's more although there will be a visual element on YouTube, they have the capacity to listen longer than they have to watch. And I think a lot of that has to do with social media. Our attention spans, even mine. I'm like, I used to be able to sit for hours and focus on something, but now I'm just like, oh, it's going
Hmm.
too slow. It's not going fast enough.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
because we're so used to that zombie scroll on TikTok and Instagram and all the places. So we don't have the capacity. So I'm working on like, how can I say something shorter in a shorter time frame? Because like you, I'm very long winded. I always feel like I have to over explain myself.
Me too.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna work. I'm like, do they really get it? Do they understand what I'm saying? Which is
Yeah.
why I like the podcast. I can say all the things that I need to say, but on Instagram, you have to be very concise. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on how to like get the message across very quickly, just say the thing and then be quiet. That's the hard part. Is to be quiet after. So,
Oh
but
my
I'm going to work on
gosh.
it. I'm gonna work on that. So, anywho, I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I
This has
appreciate
been
you.
great. This has been great. I really when I saw that post, I just knew like, oh my god, because I've been looking at your stuff and I'm like, I would love to have her on the show, right? I would love to have her on the show because I just love people who are talking about being honest. There are so many people out here who are being scammy and clickbaity, and I just feel like
Yes.
it is time in our world and our society with everything being so polarized that we just have to like be honest and bring people back to the middle. So I appreciate you being willing to do this podcast with me and speaking your truth. You know, I
Well,
appreciate it, and
well, thank you
keep
so much.
staying on Instagram telling the truth. I love it.
Oh yes. that's that's my main thing I do is I post on TikTok and then I repurpose, I guess. It's just really I make it sound like I repurpose on all these platforms, but it's just Instagram and Facebook. But whenever you
Yeah.
first reached out to me, I was so excited. I told my husband, I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "I feel so great because it's kind of like one of those things you don't know if your message is getting across to people. And whenever you reached out to me, I was like, it is getting across to people. Like people are seeing me for me. So I was really excited when you reached out to me.
Yay! I'm so glad. But yes, I was looking, and I've been looking for a while too, because I think I started following you. It might have been a couple months ago, and I've been looking, and I can see your consistency and that your message was consistent, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to have her on the show. So I'm glad that there are people like you who are out there, doing the good work and staying positive. And so I would love to have you back, another time, so that we can chat
Yes.
more. Yeah. So thank you so much for doing this. I will get all your information so we can put everything down in the show notes on how they can reach out to you. Because I want to see your business grow. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait
Yeah.
for both of us for the future.
Yes. Imagine where we're going to be a year from now, right? A year from now.
That
And
gives
we'll
me
have this
chills.
conversation. Yes. We'll have this conversation again. And like my big goal for Mommy Mogul Mastery, I always say this, is I want to have like a ton of women who are just dynamite in their industries, like mastering motherhood and mastering their businesses. And all of us, we're going to like go on a cruise, and we're
Oh,
just going to
yes.
be so fly with our husbands or whoever. I don't have one yet, but hopefully in a year. We'll see. But, and just our significant others, and just living our best and truest lives. I can see it.
Yes.
That is the vision that God has given me. So
Oh, I love
just all
that.
of us
I
like
really do.
vacationing together. So yeah, I look forward to that. So we will see where we are in a year. We're going to remember this
Yes.
conversation and who we
Uh-huh.
are as people, because we're going to grow, not only in our
Mm-hmm.
businesses, but in our motherhood journeys and as people. And everyone who's listening, like they're going to grow too. And so I just, like, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Me
So
either.
but thank you so, so much. And for everyone who's listening, make sure that you check down in the description box below so that you can get all of Becca's information. Because again, we're friends now. So make sure you can get
Mm-hmm.
all of Becca's information, and you can follow her on her prominent platforms, which are Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So look for that information down below. All right. Until the next one. And for those of you who are new, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're not new, then welcome back. And we'll see you in the next one.